Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent, past, current energy, and immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using and the clarification deck and the advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. I think it's been like 3 weeks since I've done a Sagittarius reading, so I'm happy to be back. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. All right, in your recent past, you have take the lead with the Three of Wands here. This feels like this energy of you, Sagittarius, really taking the lead when it came to your life and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone in some way. Maybe it was starting something new. Maybe it was walking away from something that you felt wasn't serving you. And I feel like this situation, like whatever it was that you did here, this was like, yes, best decision I feel like you could have made for yourself. However, in your current energy, you have the past with the Six of Wands in reverse. I feel like things didn't turn out quite like you expected. I feel like you made some sort of decision and you were really excited about it at the time, or you felt really like motivated to make the decision, and then you made it, and then now you're like, well, this didn't really work out like I thought, or the timeline didn't work out like you thought, or you don't feel as good as you thought you would, and that doubt is starting to creep in. Because with this past card, it's this Moon Memories card. It's almost like this, like putting on rose-colored glasses when it came to the past. So say you walked away from like a job that wasn't serving you, or a relationship that wasn't serving you, and now you're like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't so bad, or maybe I made a decision, like too rash of a decision. Maybe I should go back to how things were. And I feel like this is actually Spirit's way of saying that you shouldn't do that. That the past played a role in your life for a reason, but that you actually have better things ahead of you. But right now with the Six of Wands in reverse, this is kind of like feeling maybe a lack of success or a lack of being where you want to be. In this immediate future, you have the law of attraction with the Wheel of Fortune. So this is, a huge misconception, I feel like, when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to the law of attraction, is this belief that you make a decision and then everything falls into place. And, you take the leap of faith and then it all works out. And that's actually absolutely not how it works. It's about, yes, of course, taking the leap of faith or making the decision to walk away from something that isn't serving you, taking the chance, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, but then continuing to do that despite the fear, despite the anxiety, despite the insecurity, despite the feeling that things aren't working out for you. That's where you really separate yourself from the people who give up on their dreams and the people who create them. Because, like I said, a lot of people think that it just happens overnight. You make a decision and boom, overnight it happens. But it's a consistent commitment to creating better for yourself. And this kind of feels like it's Spirit's way of saying, if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to commit to a better future for yourself, then you will create it. Now, I saw something once that I really, really liked, and it said sometimes creating better for yourself sometimes makes you feel as if you have to experience the opposite. For instance, like if you're trying to create more wealth for yourself by saving more money, you're going to feel more broke. You're going to feel as if you have less money in the process of having more money. If you're trying to create quality relationships for yourself by leaving behind relationships that aren't serving you, there's gonna be a period of time where you feel lonely, where you feel alone. But when you're willing to kind of face the opposite for the creation of better, that's where it actually happens. It's this way of committing to yourself where you're saying, I'm not going to go back to that because something made me walk away from that, or I'm not going to give up on this because something led me to start this, and I'm going to keep believing, even though things don't feel all that great right now, or even though I'm not necessarily where I want to be. The overall theme of the reading, I actually took both of these because I felt like they both needed to come out for the message. You have growth and affluence, and this affluence is about wealth, it's about abundance, and this growth card I feel like is about the period that you're in right now. Is you're being asked to expand yourself to a whole new, I feel like, level of belief, doing things differently, showing up differently in your life, stretching yourself in ways that maybe you never really have before. And yes, it's uncomfortable, growth is uncomfortable and it's uncertain, but it's the whole point. And it also is only going to lead you to better things. Because if you think about it this way, if you approach your life with the same mindset and the same habits, and you do the same stuff and you stay in the same relationships, like, you're never going to feel any different. Your life is never going to change. It's always going to be the same old same. But when you're willing to expand yourself past what you're used to, past your comfort zone, you're going to create experiences that are different than what you've ever experienced before. So I feel like this is an overall very positive reading for you, Sagittarius, but I do feel like I'm speaking to a collective that maybe is really doubting themselves or doubting a decision that they made in some way. But let's start, this Take the Lead card with the Three of Wands. This is recent past for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know about this past energy? I wanted to turn all the way around or hit the table, just like that. The Chariot, Six of Pentacles in reverse. And there's the Chariot. This is very much enough is enough kind of energy. Because this Chariot is, because there's the Eight of Cups. I feel like you either walked away from something or you started something new. And because, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, like, you were tired of not getting what you deserved or what you needed from some sort of situation, or you were tired of being in a place of lack or tired of not being where you want to be. And with this Chariot, I feel like you did something about it. I feel like you were like, I'm done with this, or I can't do this anymore, or I'm ready to start this, or I'm taking a leap of faith, or whatever the case was, and you took action. And I feel like at the time, and I, this happens all the time. I think that, we get riled up in our emotions and we get excited about something, or we get, frustrated about how things are, and we're like, I'm making the decision right now, we do it, right? And it's easy to kind of do it, but then the emotions hit and the second guessing hits, and we're like, oh, should I have done that? But I feel like what this was for you, Sagittarius, was like a long time coming kind of thing. Like, this wasn't something that this doesn't feel like a decision that you made out of the blue on Tuesday. It feels like, and maybe like the decision to finally do something, sure, but it feels like what this actually was a decision that you had been like pondering for a while, or felt you needed to make for a while. So the decision to actually do it, sure, that could have been out of the blue in a way, but I feel like this was, like I said, a long time coming kind of thing. Let's keep going. Past energy for, past energy for Sagittarius. I actually very much like this energy for you. It might have been like painful, or something really unfortunate might have led you to making this decision, but I feel like it was a very good decision, or a very good action or choice, or like you handled things well in a sense. Past energy for Sagittarius. Yeah, there's the Seven of Swords in reverse. Something was revealed to you. It's almost like information came out, or you saw something for what it was, like an illusion was broken, or something that made you go, yeah, no, okay, I'm done. Or, yeah, I got to do something about this. Or, like, I've hit that point a few times in my life. I mean, I've hit it in relationships where it's like I knew the relationship was ending, but then something happens and I'm finally like, yeah, okay, I'm Or it's happened to me actually in careers too, where I was just getting treated poorly or taken advantage of or not getting compensated appropriately. And I tried to set boundaries and tried to speak my truth, and it wasn't heard. And I finally was just like, okay, I'm out. I quit. So I've definitely been in there in those, I was gonna say in your shoes, but in that position. And I feel like it's hard because, there's so much fear that keeps us in our comfort zone, right? Fear of the unknown, fear of what we can't control. And we often stay in places that we don't belong because we think that it's as good as it can get for us, or we think that nothing better will ever appear. Like it's our one chance or our one opportunity or whatever the case is. And so we stay and we accept less than what we deserve, and we settle because we feel like it's what we have to do, and sometimes the universe will push us to our breaking point so that we move, so that we do something about it. And I feel like that might have happened for you, Sagittarius, here in some way in this past energy. But let's get a little bit more. I know, I get this feeling now that you're sitting here second guessing it. But let's get one more. What does Sagittarius need to know about this past energy? Whoa. 3 of Wands. We knew. Oh, and I like this because you have this. So same 3 of Wands, right? And then you have the 2 of Pentacles. It's almost like you prioritized. Because here's the Tower. It's like you were like, maybe you had been over prioritizing someone or something else, or I don't know, it's like you rebalanced your priorities and you were like, my priority is me, or my priority is choosing to believe I'm deserving of more or something. And I love this energy for you, Sagittarius, because I feel like, if you watch my readings, like, that's all I freaking talk about, right? Prioritizing what you need, prioritizing what you desire, not to the extent where you're like, screw everyone else, no one else matters, but to the extent where you're not saying screw yourself, because I think we have a tendency to over prioritize everyone and everything around us to where we become an afterthought, and then it can end up doing more harm than good in the end. So I don't know, I really like this energy for you, Sagittarius, and I feel like you should be very proud of this energy if this is your reading, because I feel like it's like after a long time of maybe putting up with something or taking too much, or something taking too much from you, it's like you put your foot down. And I really think that is a good thing. So what now? How is this affecting you currently? So that's what you're kind of been dealing with. So what's affecting you currently? You have the past with the 6 of Wands in reverse. Does Sagittarius need to know about their current energy? The Hangman in reverse with the 9 of Cups. Ooh, okay. So now you've had some time, and then there's a 4 of Swords. You've had some time to reflect. You've had some time to think on things. And I feel like that self-doubt has started to creep in, like I kind of mentioned, that second guessing. And this 9 of Cups here, it feels like the way that you're viewing this situation, or the way that you're viewing how things used to be, is through a really distorted lens. Because it feels like, when we leave a relationship and then we have to spend this time where we're lonely, this doesn't have to be about a relationship, I'm just giving an example. We spend this time where we're lonely, or, we think back and we're like, well, there were some good times. And then we look at, we think about only the good times, and we start to miss the good times, and we're like, man, I miss that relationship as a whole. But then you start, it's like you have to remember that there's a reason you took an action here. There's a reason that you decided to make a change. There's a reason for, whatever decision that you made. And I feel like right now is kind of this testing period. I've noticed that before, like every single time I take a step toward making positive change in my life, I am almost immediately met with like giant freaking obstacles that make it seem as if it is completely impossible. And what I mean by that is like, I'll try to make positive changes, say, like this happened to me in the beginning. I was trying to make positive changes to my physical health, and it was like as soon as I started trying to work out and eat healthy, I was like bombarded with injuries or feeling sick, and I had to work through those. And it was like so many, basically what I'm getting at is like there were so many things and reasons for me to give up. The same kind of thing happened in my relationship. There's just been so many things that I've noticed that like in my career, I take a step to make a change, and then all of these things start to happen to make me second guess that change, or like give up essentially on the change that I made. And the more that I persevere through those things, the better things end up. But usually that's where we meet our resistance. It's where we meet our fears and our insecurities and our doubts that nothing better is going to come along. It's not just about the initial action. It's about the commitment to the path. And I feel like that's what you're going through right now, is like this test of commitment to your path, to a better future for yourself. And maybe you're looking back and you're going, oh, but that wasn't so bad. I mean, this, and Spirit is saying, no, don't look at the past through a distorted lens. You have more ahead of you, more abundance, more, you have this affluence card, you have the Wheel of Fortune, right? Ahead of you than you do behind you. So don't get caught up on how things used to be. I know how hard that can be. And don't start, to the extent where you start kind of second guessing yourself. Current energy for Sagittarius. There you are, Queen of Wands. Whether you're male or female, I want clarity on this. Felt like I needed to keep shuffling there after that came out. Oh my gosh, literally. The Five of Wands. This is resistance. It's like you're meeting the resistance, all of the reasons that kept you in places that you don't belong, the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, the lack of believing that you're supported by the universe. I feel like you are currently in the process of like meeting those things in your circumstances. Like an example is I ended up leaving a career that was absolutely not serving me to pursue a spiritual career, just pursue tarot. And in the beginning, I struggled so much financially and mentally around starting my own business, because it was like, it just felt like no matter how hard I tried, it was obstacle and challenge. And, I quit my job to start something new, and then all of a sudden our water heater breaks, or like whatever the case was. And it was just like, man, it just felt like I couldn't catch a break, but I kept going. Like, it was like there were so many reasons for me to give up that happened when I started to make positive changes in my life, but I decided not to believe those reasons. Luckily, I had done enough healing, and I had grown, and I had a pretty decent relationship with a spiritual connection of my own understanding by that point to be able to say, okay, this must be happening for a reason. So right now with the Lovers in reverse, it kind of feels like Spirit is like, are you going to go back to what didn't serve you, or are you going to believe you're deserving of more? So you are literally meeting your resistance in, I feel like, real time. It's really interesting. All right, current energy for Sagittarius. It's like you have probably more reasons, it feels like you have more reasons to give up and then to keep going and keep believing that things can get better for you, or that things are going to work out, or that you're going to be successful in some way. I feel like Spirit is saying, don't believe those, because the growth that you're going through as you continue to lean on faith here, that's going to take you to where you want to go. Okay. Current energy for Sagittarius. Does Sagittarius need to know about this current energy? The moon. Your experience. Okay. The moon to me is, yes, about fear, but also about illusion. Right now, I feel like you're experiencing the illusion of your fear. And I don't want to say like you don't, you shouldn't feel the way you do, or you have nothing to worry about. It's fine. Everything's chill. Like, just relax. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Because you got to experience all that this process has to offer. And sometimes that means working through the fears, working through the doubts, working through the insecurities. You know, there have been a lot of times in my life where I would experience fear, doubt, and insecurity, and I would let that experience control me and decide for me, whether it was give up on something or react in a negative way or whatever the case was. And as I've moved forward on this journey, I've learned that fear never goes away. My self-doubt never goes away. It is always there, but it doesn't dictate what I do anymore. So when I'm experiencing fear, whether in real time or like in my mind, you know, the projection of fear, whatever the case might be, I have learned that that is just an experience that I have to have. It is not a truth. And I move forward with the truth of believing that things are going to work out for my highest good. I'm supported by spirit. I'm supported by the universe. And that always takes me further because I never had that before. And I would always, you know, I'd experience fear, self-doubt, insecurity, and I would react to that. I would do something to try to avoid that or to fix a problem or whatever the case was, by trying to force or manipulate outcomes or whatever the case was. And it would always I'd always actually end up further away from whatever it was that I desired. So right now, yes, there's a lot of fear surrounding you, but it's an illusion of fear. So all of the reasons that you have to doubt right now, all of the reasons you have to second guess, they're valid. You have to experience them, work through them, but they are not truth. Your truth is whatever you decide it is. And right now, Spirit is asking you to decide that it is, I am supported by the universe on the path to whatever it is that I desire. And I know that as long as I continue to take steps in faith, regardless of the obstacles and the challenges and the setbacks, I know that I'm going to get there. All right, what does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? The law of attraction with the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like on the other side of this resistance that you're experiencing is a lot of good here. You know, the law of attraction isn't just about believing and asking for guidance and hoping for the best. It's aligning your thoughts, decisions, and actions with the life that you wish to create, which means basically acting on the life you wish to create before it even shows up. You know, continuing to believe in it even when it feels like no reason to. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? The Three of Pentacles, literally pieces starting to fall into place. I feel like you need to know also with this Three of Pentacles that you have all of the support you need. You have and will have all of the support that you need as you continue down this path. When I was struggling financially at the beginning of this journey, there were so many times I'd get so angry at the universe because I'd be like, what the heck? Like, I know I'm following my divine guidance, so why, am I struggling so hard to pay my bills? Like, why don't I have the money right now that I need? And it's so interesting because I look back and it's like at the time it felt like I didn't have what I needed, but looking back, I had everything that I needed every single step of the way. It just didn't feel like it in the moment because I was always worried about the next bill or the next whatever. But every single time I needed money for something, it always came through. And I look back on that now and it's like, wow, like it's so crazy how much the universe really did have my back through each and every step of that process. But I had to learn that through the struggle. I had to learn through the struggle to have the faith, even though I doubted that the universe would come through, and then the universe always did. And the more that the universe did come through for me, the more that I believed it would, which means the bigger risks I would take, or the more I would put myself out there, whatever the case was. And then my life just kind of improved over time. So trust me when I say, like, I get it. Making the decision to create a better life for yourself. Like another example I can think of is when I kind of decided that I would rather be alone for the rest of my life than be in a relationship that didn't serve me. I was like, I'm tired of settling for less than what I deserve. I'm done with trying to change people. And I basically said I would rather be alone for the rest of my life than have to face those kinds of experiences. And like a couple of weeks later, I met my husband, which was a absolutely serendipitous experience in my life. And one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this stuff is because I've watched it work in my life. And in the lives of people that I've coached when it comes to creating a better life. It's the commitment to believing that better exists and your unwillingness to accept anything less than what it is that you deserve, which often means not allowing yourself to go backwards to something because you think that maybe it's better than nothing. Because again, that gets you into the realm of settling. Okay. The Ace of Swords, there's this clarity I feel like that you will find at the end of this journey. Right now, I feel like you're confused, you're overwhelmed, you don't really know where this is taking you. You don't maybe even see a way through. Maybe you don't see the options, you don't see how things are going to work out. And I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying they will, and you will see how they will at the time. Like whenever they work out, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I see exactly why that had to happen that way. It happens every single time. If we are willing to choose faith and choose to believe that Spirit has our back, especially during those times where it just absolutely doesn't feel like that's the truth, we get through that and we go, oh my gosh, I get why that had to happen that way, because I had to face the fear, or I had to second guess, or I had to doubt. Faith only exists in the presence of doubt, right? It wouldn't be faith if you didn't doubt. It wouldn't be choosing yourself if you didn't second guess. Like faith is within itself choosing to believe in better in the presence of doubt. It's not the absence of doubt. It's not the absence of fear. It's not the absence of struggle. It is, despite those things, I choose to have faith. And that when you are willing to and capable of really shifting your perspective and your mindset in that way, you do create better for yourself as you continue to move forward. And I've learned to kind of call it spiritual proof. It's almost like the universe proves itself to you. The universe has consistently proven itself to me as I continue to have just this. And sometimes I'm like, I can't believe the universe required me to have that level of faith. Like, I literally quit my job out of the blue with absolutely no backup plan to start this spiritual career because I felt called to do that. And I look back on that now, I'm like, man, that was crazy. That was an absolutely crazy thing that I did. But I mean, it ended up working out for me. And I'm not saying I recommend you do something that extreme, but just following your divine guidance is key. And sometimes it can feel like it's taking you to really crazy places. You know what the book that comes to mind is? And I had a coaching session with a client a few months back, and he mentioned this book to me. It was The Surrender Experiment. I don't remember who it's by, but The Surrender Experiment. It's a really, really cool story, and I highly recommend that book to anyone who this resonates with. Okay, what else does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? The Chariot. 8 of Swords in reverse. Okay, as you are facing these limiting beliefs in real time, you are also working through them. I had to really, for a long time, face my money story. And I don't know why I'm talking so much about money. This doesn't have to do with money. This doesn't have to do with money. Have to have anything to do with money. But as I was facing my money story, which was, I have to be miserable in order to be financially stable. There were so many times in which that money story arose whenever I was starting my own business and my own career. And every single time that I was proved the opposite, which was that I was financially supported as long as I pursued from a place of alignment, it was almost as if that belief shifted a little bit more. We have these neural pathways in our brain, and we create these beliefs that are going to be based on our experience. And in order to shift those experiences, we have to put our beliefs into action. It's not just about believing really hard and hoping for the best. It's about acting as if. It's acting as if you are the luckiest person alive and everything works out for you. It's acting as if you are financially supported in everything that you do. It's focusing on, yes, aligning, but also making sure that in that you're acting as if everything, is going to work out, and then it kind of miraculously does. And I get comments all the time when I talk about that. I'll be like, oh, you're so naive. And it's really funny to me because I used to be very, very cynical. I used to believe nothing ever worked out for me, and people are guilty until proven innocent, and I acted from a place of fear, and I always just constantly expected things to never work out. I was so negative. I complained all the time, and my life sucked. I was miserable because my mindset was always being proved correct no matter where I looked. So as we start to try to create better for ourselves, we have to learn to literally take on and stretch ourselves into a whole new level of being, a whole new level of experiencing. And that's what Spirit's asking you to do, and is saying there are rewards for you on the other side of that. So this isn't happening for no reason. Your effort is not going in vain. I feel like this is absolutely going to work out for you in the end. Okay, Sagittarius, thank you so much as always for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Sagittarius.